It's indeed a lovely day, and you are listening to the Never Dull Moment program on radio that's talking about Ground Zero. Ground Zero, like you know, is a program that brings up topical issues in the polity, and of course, with guests in house and other analysts, we are able to give you the very best of whatever we are discussing. And today is not going to be different. Today's program promises to be equally very interesting. As on the program today, we will be linking up with one of our resource person all the way from Aqua. Is it Aqua Ibom again or Ebonyi? We'll get to know where our resource person is also coming from, and together we'll do the program this evening. My name is EHIS, and Ground Zero is a regular feature that comes on Procyon Radio and Television every day of the week from 5 to 6 p.m. And of course, Tuesdays and Fridays, we link up with Invicta FM to give you the very best. And today on the program, the SNIPPETS. The first one, UNICEF says 1 million Nigerian children die annually from malnutrition before the age of 5. And our second SNIPPET is 800,000 liters vessel with stolen crude oil intercepted and destroyed. And my guest on the program this evening, we actually have 3 or 2 will be joining me via online, and I have one already in the studio. So we'll just be taking his seat now. That's talking about YANWAIDI. He's a media consultant and a public affairs analyst. Zwahu, you are welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you very much. Thank you indeed.
All right. And we also have the chairperson of civil society scaling up nutrition in Nigeria, Kaduna State chairperson, and the person of Jessica Bartholomew also joining us online. Jessica, you are welcome to Ground Zero.
Hi, baby. Yeah.
All right. And MUSA BALA is also standing by, though he is on transit. MUSA BALA is a farmer and a political analyst. The reason why I also want MUSA BALA to be on the program today is because we are talking about nutrition. And when we talk about nutrition, we know that the produce from the farm has a role to play in the complete circle of closing up the nutrition gap that we have. Before we go on with the program, this is to let you know that at some point in the course of the program, you can call in to add your voice to the conversation. And of course, you can go to all of our social media handles on the different social media platform. And we have a unified handle, which is Procyon RTV. Just put in that Procyon RTV on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, what have you, and also Thread. And you'll be able to communicate and link up with us right here on the program. And you want to drop a voice note, you do that via 0809 7991989. Okay, of course you can download the Procyon Radio handle. You can download the Procyon Radio app from the Google Play Store. All right, let's just give you a little bit in respect of the story on nutrition. Available data from the World Health Organization, and of course the United Nations Children Education Fund and the World Bank has shown that 1 million Nigerian children die annually before the age of 5. The chairman steering committee of a non-governmental organization, Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria, CS Son, Malam Sodengi Chindo Adam, made the revelation in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State Capital at a 2-day retreat organized for legislators and executives from Niger, Kano, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Lagos State. Adam White speaking at the retreat with the theme, Improved Nutrition Funding, the role of legislators and executives, called for increased budgetary allocation for nutrition by state governments to address the problem of high infant mortality rate in the country as a result of malnutrition. It's at this stage I want to quickly bring in Jessica Bartholomew to give us an update. First of all, how is Uyo today?
Uyo is beautiful, good weather, very visible ambience, and of course, Fisherman soup is our boy.
Fisherman soup, a very nutritious soup. I remember the last time that I was in Uyo, I almost gorged myself to choking point on fisherman soup. Now, nutrition situation in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, how bad is this problem? Jessica?
So if we can relate to the current data by UNICEF on the number of children that die annually to health-related issues. In that data, 80% of that number die because of malnutrition. So you can imagine that other ailments will take the child to the hospital, but along the way during examination, the doctors will realize that malnutrition plays a major role of why the child was able to contact either bacteria, infection, and any other illness, including malaria. So let's say, for example, in that 1 million children that die annually before 5 years, 800 of those children die. 800 of those children die annually because of malnutrition. That is how bad it is. So when you see 10 children in a particular community, your first thought is that about 4 to 8 of those children will die due to malnutrition before their 5th birthday. And why it is so painful is because if you look at the national stunting rate, we are 38% malnourished. If you come back to Kaduna State, 48% malnourished. That isn't even the data of children are wasting. This one is talking about stunting. They are gone for life in terms of brain development. You now come back to wasting. That talks about 1.1 for SAM, that is severe acute malnutrition. 1.1 of your total population of under 5, you know what it means, Mr. EHIS?
Yes, but just 1 minute. We need to understand what is stunting and wasting, because many people will not, apart from some of us that happen to be members of the civil society scaling up nutrition. We know this, but most of our listeners and viewers who don't understand what is stunting and wasting. If in brief, layman's language, explain it.
Okay, so it's another form of malnutrition. Stunting is when the child is too short for height, physically. But mentally, the development of that child is poor. That means the child cannot apprehend what his normal group of children that are well nourished can comprehend. Okay. If, for instance, at the age of 2, the child is supposed to be talking or walking or running, you will find out that that child is slow because the brain development has an issue during the formation. So when the child is too short for height, we call it stunting. When the child is too thin for the height and weight, we call it wasting.
Okay.
It means, so you know those children, those pictures you see bone, the right bone on the chest. So it is wasting. That child is wasting. It can be corrected. The child will be identified, taken to the facility and given ready-to-use therapeutic food, which can enable the child to regain the adequate weight, for adequate weight. But for stunting, which is too short for height, they elongate person way short. If you short. So once the child has been stunted, it's irreversible. That is the dangerous part of malnutrition. You cannot reverse it. But if the child is wasted, you can actually reverse it.
All right, Zwahu has a contribution to make
an observation. I'm wondering because when we were growing up, we never ate meat regularly.
Yeah.
Okay. And in fact, we probably would eat meat only on occasions like Christmas, like Easter or Salah or whatever. Okay, then occasionally, you know, Sunday rice, occasionally we'll get meat to eat and stuff. And in fact, if you got near egg, if you, as a child, you touched egg, you know, without being given by your mother, or, you know, they say this child, Ingo Stilo. But these things are more available now.
And
generally
speaking.
And
some parents will refuse to give you the egg yolk. Say that you will steal when you grow up.
So I'm wondering that these things are more available now. Okay? And yet we are talking about what is causing the malnutrition problem that we have now, that almost 80%.
So beautiful question, very beautiful. If you remember those days, our parents did not know any other thing except breast milk for you as a baby.
Yeah.
Because they know that breast milk was the food that you're supposed to take until the time you were able to absorb food. They did not have Sorry, call came in. Sorry.
Okay.
Apologies. Okay, so they did not.
Yeah, I mean, these things happen when you are on air, internet call, and the call comes in. Okay.
No, I don't. So, okay.
No, just go on once a connection is stable. Just go on.
No, we are back.
Okay,
good.
That's fine.
Okay, so what the problem now is, women don't normally breastfeed again. We don't normally breastfeed. We want to give canned milk, and the children cannot absorb canned milk because that milk is from cow, animal. You are supposed to exclusively breastfeed your child from 0 to 6 months. Then begin to introduce other complementary food from 6 months, like akamu, our locally available grains. You make it, you cook it. You will agree with me, sir, that during those days, our mothers, they will just enter the field, just small farm, pluck this leaf, pluck that leaf, boil it, cook it, put palm oil, you know, make it natural and give the children. It was healthy. But now we are in a time where people are taking processed milk, canned food, buy noodles and make for the child without adding egg, without adding. So the things that we found that a lot of practice that forefathers were actually doing those days was more healthier than now. Now it is euphemism to see a kind of breast milk substitute on the counter of your table. It means that I'm a big Mima, I'm struggling to be called a big woman. My child takes can introducing meals that are not healthy for them at that age. So you now see, with the exposure we think we have now, it is actually detrimental to our health, because the kind of exposure we are introducing is exposure in changing the dynamics of feeding, eating more of processed food than our locally available food. So you now understand what the challenge is. When the mother doesn't exclusively breastfeed the child from 0 to 6, that is even the problem. So for stunting, it's between 0 to 24 months. That's before the child becomes 2 years. All the nutrients that you are supposed to give, once the child is 2 years, you have lost it. So if you don't do exclusive breastfeeding from 0 to 6 months, and then you don't start bringing in locally available food, you have missed that opportunity, and you have missed it for life.
I get the impression then that this problem of malnutrition is one that is perhaps going to be found in mostly the urban areas
than the
rural areas. Would I be correct?
No. Now, the beautiful part again is that we've noticed that the rural areas are actually selling more of their locally produced food to buy those processed food.
Wow.
Is that not an irony? they are selling more of their locally available food to buy
the
processed food, or you will notice that they are only eating one category of food.
Yeah.
They do not believe that kuli kuli, that this
beans,
awara that we speak that time, that awara that will fry by the roadside, that is more nutritious than going to go and buy, for instance, chicken, if you do not have it.
Yeah, but so what about with respect to breastfeeding, exclusive breastfeeding?
Do you know that our women at the rural areas do not like breastfeeding
anymore?
They introduce water and start giving the child and keeping on fat. You can imagine a baby processing maize inside their stomach. It is detrimental at that age. So that is the challenge that we are having.
All right. Thank you for the update so far. Meanwhile, what exactly are the specific outcomes expected from this outing in Uyo Akwa Ibom State?
Yes. So the specific outcome is for us to have more investment in nutrition. We want our legislators to help us so that the executives can prioritize nutrition in our various states, including the national. We also want sensitization at the community level, because these members are also selected from the community. So if there are
constituency projects,
they can tilt it into sensitization and any other activity that will promote exclusive breastfeeding and other nutritional activities at a very young age. It is highly welcome. So the idea is to ensure that we leverage on the resources they have at constituency level. We also improve their capacity to be able to deliver activities related to nutrition.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Jessica. We'll go on with the program. Hoping we'll still be able to reconnect with you by the time we have callers calling in to find out one or two things.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, you are listening to Ground Zero, coming to you on Procyon Radio in collaboration with Invicta 98.9 FM. And of course, you can watch us on all social media portals on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and what have you. And the handle is at Procyon RTV. That's the handle where you can get to see us. And coming back to the other aspect of the program, let's go on with the show. And this other issue is becoming a recurring decimal in Nigeria now, where vessels laden with stolen crude oil or petroleum products will be arrested and arbitrarily destroyed, with the product burnt most of the time. And the reason why we are talking about this now is because of the recent interception and destruction of 800,000 liter vessel laden with stolen crude oil. 64 illegal crude oil connections have also been discovered, while 77 illegal refineries were destroyed in the Niger Delta in the last week. And all of this information we got them from NNPC. They say that one of the private security firms that they contracted to protect our oil facilities and installation were the ones that did this bust, and that is what has happened. And the reason is that they want to discourage people from getting involved in all of that. What's your feel about all of this?
No, I mean, it is just, for me, it is just photo op. Okay, I mean, it is just, they are just doing that for the photos. Okay, why would you need to poison our rivers? Well, I mean, our seas in the first place. What kind of overkill is that? What kind of an overkill is that? I mean, you have caught these people, arrest them, find a way of berthing that ship, and then retrieve the crude. but you are destroying it so that people will see fire and you will hype the excitement and sensation or sensationalism around the whole thing. I think it is useless. And for goodness sake, it is not easy to go stealing crude.
800,000 liters. Wow.
It is not easy to go stealing crude, okay? And it is not easy to have, I mean, ordinary people, common people, okay, without connection, cannot easily do all of these things, okay? A ship, for any ship that can handle such is almost the size of a good number of houses, almost the size of half of this street.
Yeah, that's okay. Talking about 30, about 30, between 30 and 40 normal regular petrol tankers.
Yes.
This long one, this 33,000.
So wow. What are we talking about? That's huge. In fact, that kind of
it's almost
that kind
of a craft of a stadium.
Yes, that kind of a craft. That kind of a craft cannot birth in our waters. Okay, there have to be smaller
barges.
That are going to feed it, over there. Because if you know the way our
waterways are,
the shoreline. No, the shoreline. Yes, if you know the way our shorelines are, our shorelines can handle big ships.
Yeah,
they can. That's why most they will go. They
go offshore,
and then the smaller ships will go there. Collect the whatever products.
The number of rounds they will do.
They will do.
The number of days or weeks.
So it doesn't make sense, okay? I mean, let's not deceive ourselves. And we have seen law enforcement agents or agency parade so-called armed robbers or whatever, criminals, and they just carry video camera, put them on TV. These people, a ring of, have been busted. We know what happens afterwards, okay? And by the way, why should you just, someone who is being accused, you are putting their face, on
camera.
TV, on camera, and it's on media. We know that that's all media hype. That's just for the PR of it. But the real thing, they are not talking about the real thing. They are not talking about the real thing. Because if they want to talk about the real thing, then they will begin to mention names. Okay, perhaps at this point they can't mention names because we are still at the level of allegations. So the courts should be able to be the ones to declare anybody guilty or otherwise.
Is it not the court that should also ask them to destroy any?
No, if the courts, I'm not sure that the courts have arraigned anybody before the court. Okay, and whatever it is, they should be able to collect that vessel. Okay, keep it.
They should impound.
Yes, they should impound the vessel. Get
they said the vessel is empty. Tura 2. IMO number 6620462 and owned by a Nigerian registered company, Polar Maritime Services.
So it is very easy.
They have everything.
Why pouring 800 liters of crude oil onto the sea? In these days that we are talking about environmental protection.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. I mean, the whole thing just smacks of...
even if indeed this person is arrested, the owners arrested, prosecuted, the vessel will be forfeited, Nigeria can sell that, and we can get some more money that we really need at this point.
So it's just mischief.
Wow.
It's just mischief.
Wow.
I'm not moved by this drama. This is just drama. It's mischief.
Now, still looking at the fact that they said it was arrested by one of the private firms,
private security, privately contracted
Tantita Security Limited. It sounds like the name of one of those Niger Delta boys. They are companies that were contracted to.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the Nigerian government has contracted private security organizations to provide security at that belt,
those streets along our oil assets.
Yeah, so it's not new, it's not strange. Okay, in fact, even our forests were supposed to have perhaps private security organizations to police our forests. Okay, so that all those bandits that are out there, because obviously our armed forces are overwhelmed,
stretched
and
to their
stretched thin,
limits.
yeah. So we should begin to think. So that's not strange, but when you arrest such, when you bust such rings or syndicates, you should be able to bring everybody to book and minimize the damage.
Now, destruction of all of these, like the illegal refineries and all of that, and I don't know. If in elsewhere they are looking at how they can get these artisanal miners to be properly trained and do the job of mining other precious stuff properly. What stops them from training these people to also do it properly?
Yeah, that is not out of place. That is not out of place. You see, every state, when I say state, I mean government, every state has had issues of how to manage criminality.
Yeah.
Okay, how to manage criminality. In most cases, you find, for instance, terrorists. Okay, they start as terrorists, they hold the state hostage, or part of the state hostage, and with time, the state is beginning to talk with them. The state is beginning to, from talking to them, the state gets to mainstream them. Okay, and by the time you mainstream them, then they become players in, larger society.
Yeah.
So that's what. Well, I impute that interpretation, the beatification of the area boy. You understand?
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
It's the case of the beatification of the area boy.
Boys.
Okay, that's what happens with some of these private security agencies in the Niger Delta. These were guys who were actually criminals. They were terrorists. Okay, before they were brought in. Okay, we see that your agitations
it's a little bit,
some legitimacy to your agitations. Okay, come, let us stop. Okay, now since you people know these areas very well, we ask you to keep watch over those areas. So you see, an area boy has been beatified. Now that's what you are talking about now. These people who operate these small illegal modular refineries, you are saying that they should be brought in. I don't know whether government has really sat down and thought about it, and thought about the longer term impact of this. But yes, ordinarily, this is something that may be desirable. Are they doing this thing simply out of for lack of, livelihood and sustainability? So if you bring them and mainstream them and get them to be able to do it at that level, but in a much safer. Look, you need to be in Port Harcourt. You see, the town is covered with suits.
Yeah.
Not even your car outside parked, even inside. Okay, you just come, touch your table, and it is black. Iron your clothes if you don't put them in
a polythene cover.
Yeah, I mean it just gets dirty. So get them to do it in a much healthier manner and environmentally friendlier manner. So yeah, that's a way out. But a lot of factors have to be looked into, because some people have felt that when you agitate, that is when you get what you want to get. Okay, perhaps that is also fueling this issue of IPOP in the southeast. Perhaps. So some persons in the southeast, eastern part of the country, probably are thinking that the way Niger Delta people agitated until Goodluck Jonathan became president, let us also agitate until one of us becomes president. So you see, some of these things, when you begin to beatify area boys, before the slope can be very, very slippery in the moment you open that door to that slope. So we don't know, but yes, I think it is a good idea. If it is possible. After all, the bigger refineries, I mean NNPC and whatever, they are not giving us fuel. They have not been working. If these guys have been able to operate, then they may as well be mainstreamed and then gotten to operate within proper safety, standards, and perhaps they will help to solve some of the problems that confront us in this country. But I mean, one is not an expert in these things. I'm just talking. I'm just giving my opinion from the
Yeah,
gallery.
yeah, one cover opinion.
One cover opinion from the gallery. I'm not a player on the stage.
Before we finally leave all of this, many people are not don't really fancy as Alhaji Mujahid Dokubo Asari, but he alleged that 99% of the oil theft in the country was carried out by top military personnel, a claim that has been denied by the military hierarchy.
Yeah, well, what do you expect? What do you expect?
Tell me.
No, I don't know. I mean, what do you expect? What do I expect? Unfortunately, that we know that our top public officers, you know, they are into a lot of things. Okay, people who hold top public positions, whether in
the jacketed or the agbada,
whether in the uniformed or the agbada or in the mufti. We know that they are into a lot of things. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, it's been there long time ago, since the 70s, so to say. I mean, we know that military officers have owned oil wells and all of that, and now, I mean, they are not even in government, so it is perhaps so people will say, you know, the civilians are holding the horn,
and the military men are milking the cow,
and the military personnel are busy milking the cow. We don't know. I mean, these are all
just giving our one
conjectures. These are all conjectures.
All right.
But for someone like Asari Dokubo to come out and make such a statement, he knows, because he's also one of the people providing security in those areas. Along with
Tom Polo and
the rest. Yeah.
All right, you are listening and watching Ground Zero coming to you on Procyon Radio and Television in collaboration with Invicta FM. And today we have looked at the nutrition crisis we have in Nigeria, and also the destruction of an intercepted vessel carrying 800,000 liters of crude oil. We'll be taking a break now, and after the break, we'll come back and open up the phone lines. Don't go away. Stay with us. Is she taking the adverts? Okay. Is it linked up through YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, that's the reason why. You should have connected through this bot now. The delay is much. It's much, up to 2 minutes. When she's not connected through the stream, maybe she's having issue with linking up to our stream. So she's taking feeds direct from our YouTube.
This is almost 15 minutes.
No.
I mean, almost 5 minutes.
About 3. It's about 5 minutes.
Not less than 5 minutes. See?
Of how to manage criminality.
Yeah.
Okay, how to manage criminality. In most cases, you find, for instance, terrorists. Terrorists being the state hostage, or part of the state, but the state hostage. And with time,
Also, is she picking from you?